Shanda Golden, and we're on a field trip today. We're at the chapel with the one and only queen of heavy metal, my queen and your queen, Lita Ford. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
So, how are you doing today?
I'm good. We're just coming back from the book tour. We've been through Chicago, through New York, through New Jersey, and I just came back from Texas.
Yeah.
So I'm all rocked out in Texas gear here.
You look great. You look great.
Thank
So
you.
your book is excellent. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
A lot of really great stuff in here. But I wanted to kind of, I've had a lot of people ask me like, ooh, what are the juicy stuff? So if you don't mind, I'm going to just kind of read a list of a few friends and lovers.
Yeah.
Okay?
Sure.
Nikki Sixx.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Richie Blackmore.
Yeah.
John Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Dee Dee Ramone.
Yeah.
Tony Iommi, who was your fiance.
Yes.
Chris Holmes was a husband.
Yes.
But of my favorite is the one that wrote Looks That Kill for You with
yeah.
Nikki Sixx.
Yeah.
Is he one of your favorites too?
Yeah. Well, he was my first
Love.
you know.
Yes.
And now, you know, he's married and he's got
Oh,
a
yeah,
great
yeah.
life, but this was all pre-wives, pre-kids.
Sure.
So just fun stuff growing up. After the Runaways, I met Nikki in a nightclub in Los Angeles, the Troubadour.
Right.
And I asked him actually I asked him his name, and he said his name was Rick. And I knew his name was Nikki, and I just wanted to strike up a conversation with him. And he said, it's Rick, and I thought, okay, he doesn't want to talk to me.
Right.
So I turned around and started to walk away, and he went, no, wait, it's Nikki. My name's Nikki. So from that point on, we became friends, and
I think for me, like, you know, reading about you in the rock magazines and stuff back in the 80s, I just loved you and Nikki Sixx. I just thought you guys were the coolest together.
Oh,
so that's why I had to bring
thanks.
that up. So now I wanted to talk a little bit about, another thing too about you and Nikki Sixx is that you both, at a very young age, you both were able to manifest your own destinies. Whatever you thought about, you brought about, right?
Yeah.
You're both intelligent, hardworking kids.
Yeah.
Because how old were you two when you were together?
Yeah, God, let's see. Well, it was right after the Runaways. I'm going to say I was about 20, 21.
Yeah, that's young.
Yeah, it was pre-Motley Crue. They were just starting out, and Nikki and I lived together in these little apartments. We went from one apartment to another.
Right.
And he was writing the first Motley Crue album, and he had a vision of all these albums down the road.
Wonderful.
He had the vision, and he lived out exactly what he wanted to do. The midgets that they have in the shows now, he knew then when we were living together, he knew then that he was going to use those midgets in the show. I mean, just all the stuff. The Runaways used to use blood in the show with pancake syrup and food coloring.
Right.
And Cherie would wear a packet of blood, and we would use it for Dead End Justice. And later on, Nikki used that blood. He didn't know how to make it, so I helped him make the blood for his mannequins on stage.
How wonderful as young people that you guys could connect and go forward. I just think that's great. And honestly, you look so amazing together too, and all that leather, and you know what I mean? It was rad.
It was a good time.
Good for you.
It was a great time.
So now I want to talk a little bit about, because it's been in the news. People have been talking about Tony Iommi, and Chris Holmes was your husband.
Yeah.
One thing that I kind of took away as I was reading your book, and you tell me, were these men? It seems these were difficult relationships for you. Would it be fair to say that these men were threatened and maybe even jealous of
Yes, I think so. I don't think all of them were, but
Right.
I think some of them, especially the abusive. I mean, I only had two abusive relationships. One was mentally abusive, one was verbally abusive, which either one is not acceptable.
No, it's not.
And there's nothing I did to deserve it.
No.
So it's just wrong. But I forgot where I was getting at now.
Well, we were talking about how sometimes women, I've seen women, they dim their light.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Do you feel like maybe you might have done that a little bit in some of these relationships just because they were so threatened? I mean, you're Lita Ford.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to be kind of on par here, and maybe they're not at that time in their careers. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I know my last husband didn't want me to do anything. He didn't want me to talk to anybody or go anywhere or see anybody. It was very controlled and isolated.
That's what abusers do.
Right.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry for that. I'm really sorry
Thank
for
you.
that. I was recently on the Axes and Anchors cruise, and I ran into a gentleman that we both know, Lon Friend.
Oh yeah. Love Lon. He's the other LF.
Yeah.
It's the other LF.
So I'm walking on the ship, right, and I had just read chapter 11, Lisa, and I'm walking, and there's Lon. I'm like, oh my God, dude, I just read about you in this book.
Oh, how cool.
And so he was reading it, and he was super excited and stuff. I had forgot that your mother wrote like a Dear Abby advice.
Yes.
Awesome. So what was the best
Yeah.
advice that she ever gave you?
Yeah. Oh my God. My mother was always just a gem. She always supported me, and my father too. They always
Right.
supported me through everything I did. There was never any arguing in my family. There was never any fighting. My parents never fought. It was they took separate vacations. So when they came home, they were happy to see each other.
Wonderful.
I think it's
Yeah.
healthy.
I do too. My husband and I he was on the Monsters of Rock cruise, and I did Axes and Anchors.
It's awesome.
You have to have that separation.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
have to
be
live your own life and be your own
Yes.
person.
Because that way you're not tied into each other's identities.
I've read that in my studies going through a bad divorce, I've read that out of 100% of all the people that are married, 50% stay married. The other 50% get divorced. Half of that 50%, 25% of people that are married really truly love each other, that are married because they want to be. The other 25% stay married for other reasons, like businesses or their children, but they don't really truly love each other, and they're not really truly happy, whereas a lot of people put up with abuse. And abuse goes both ways, not just from the man to the woman. The abuse can come from the woman to the man as well.
Right.
You know, so it goes both ways. You don't have to be a man to be a narcissist. You can be a woman and be just as evil.
Right. Now, do you see yourself getting married ever again? I mean, because you're a little manifester, so do you see that maybe that might be a possibility for you?
I'm waiting for my knight in shining armor to come and whisk me away, and if I don't find him, then I'm not getting married.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, why settle?
You know, the men in my life are my kids, and they're the ones that I'm waiting for right now.
Yeah.
So I've got guys all around me. I don't have any trouble getting laid. So
Good for you. That's why I love you, Lita Ford.
getting married is not on my to-do list.
Wonderful. Well, I think with that, we should keep this light. But I wanted to say, do you have any advice for young guitarists coming up? Female guitarists, excuse me.
Sure. Well, there's so many out there now. You know, you can Google them and look at them on YouTube, sitting in their house jamming, and there's so many wonderful female musicians out there now. It's so good to see. I'm so excited to see them for the future. And with that note, we will be touring with Hailstorm.
Yay!
On April the 1st. We start with Hailstorm. We're very excited about that.
Yeah.
So I think that is one of my creations, you know. I love Lizzie Hale.
I do too.
She's a monster singer and great guitar player. And
She's a sweet girl too.
She's
She comes into Bazaar.
you know, she's down to earth, and the whole band is down to earth.
Right.
And they're just really kind of mom and pop country, you know. You don't feel like you're in the presence of somebody who's better than you, you know, which I can't stand. I don't care who you are.
Right.
When I meet somebody who has that mentality, I just want to go, ugh.
Yeah.
You know, ugh, get away from me.
No,
You're not better than me.
No, you're not. You're not better than me. You see that a lot in this industry. I've been blessed that I haven't seen it too much, but I've heard the horror stories, and I've heard nothing but amazing things about you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I hope you know, I'm sure you do, but you have, I don't want to cry, but you have done so much for women, young women like me when I was coming up. I could look up to you and say, look at her and that guitar. She's not, they're saying she's not supposed to be up there with that guitar.
Right.
But there she is with
Right,
that guitar.
And still today, I still get, they're releasing this song and so played guitar on it. But they never say that I did too, you
That
know.
sucks.
They still are in denial. But I've got the Legends Award from Guitar Player Magazine,
Which
Mike
is huge.
Miranda, and I thank him so much for that. I got an
Right.
email from him this morning, and he read the book, and he was just really happy that I acknowledged that because it was a milestone for me.
It is, yeah. Because you're the first female to get up there and do it and show everybody else. I mean, honestly, if it wasn't for trailblazers like you and Helen Gurley Brown
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all the bigs, Oprah,
Yeah,
I wouldn't
yeah.
be sitting here going, you know what? I think I'll get a couple of Canon T4Is and I'll learn to edit on Final
Yeah.
Cut Pro and fuck it, I'll have my own show.
Right, right.
You know
so
what I mean?
true.
It's true.
So
You've
true.
done that. So thank you.
Well, the Runaways helped.
The Runaways helped too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like she's doing a book signing here and a Q&A, and people are starting to come in. So, but I could sit here and chat with you all the time. You are just
Definitely.
such a blessing. You are my queen,
Thank you.
queen of heavy metal.
Thank you.
Long may you reign.
Right on. Right on.
All right, see ya.
Right on.
Oh, thank you so much.